Hey, Michelle LLC here. Hope you are amazing. Hope you are awesome. I have a PSA announcement today. Public service announcement. PSA. Public service announcement for all ladies that are out there that are looking for Mr. Right, and all those guys, those gentlemen out there looking for the special Mrs. Right. So, they don't exist. That's it. They don't exist. There is no such thing as Mr. Right or Mrs. Right. What does exist, though, is you getting your shit right. Because the reality is that we are the one we're looking for. And so once you get your stuff right, once you get yourself together, and once you're doing what you're supposed to do, what will happen is you will find the person that best complements who you are and the things that you desire, because you've become the best person you are. So this sounds so easy, sounds so simple. Yes, it takes some work. It actually takes time to invest in yourself, to find out what you are about, where you are blocked, where you need to grow, where you need to let go, where you need to step up and be your highest self. So let me just explain how this PSA all came together. This morning, like many other mornings and many, many days and nights and moments in my life, where a thought came into my head about a person I really like. And this individual, while amazing, very attractive, very intelligent, very successful, doing them has an energy that just like sits well with me, does not, maybe, what is the word I'm looking for? Doesn't return the energy that I may give immediately or at all. Well, I can't say at all. I don't think that's fair. But like what my brain, what my love language speaks of, like the phone calls, the texts, the sweet little notifications that, babe, I'm thinking about you, I love you, you're the best, whatever. I don't get those. Like I would desire, or I desire. So here's the thing. There's a lot of ways to look at that. Oh, well, that's not the one for you, or this, that, they're not interested, or the universe is speaking to you about something. There's a lot of different ways to look at that. But here's what I want to look at. I want to address this thing that happens to us all. And we need to be really honest with ourselves. I'm getting ready this morning, and the person popped through my head, and the thought came, what are you doing? You already know he's got somebody. Like, he's not interested. There's other people. There are other people, because if there weren't other people, they would be, when they're not other people, they're all over you. There's someone else. His attention is going to somebody else. Their attention is going to somebody else. Somebody else. And I said, thank you. Thank you so much, ego. Because that's not a message from the divine. Because the way that message was delivered to me made me feel like I was missing out. Made me feel like I was lacking something. Made me want to address the behavior, like, why aren't you paying attention to me? It made me want to do something to grab attention in a non-loving or a non-peaceful way. And because of that, because the thought process put me into action that was not loving, was not compassionate, was not elevating, was not joyful, or was not in a place of like surrounding, I got you. Like, it would have been one thing had the message been like, it's so amazing that you find the beauty in other people, But sometimes when they don't find the beauty in you, it's time to move on because you're dynamic. That would have been a message from the divine saying, move on. But when something is promoting fear, shame, guilt, lack, feelings of inadequacy, ugh, that is not the divine speaking to you. That is a message from your ego trying to get you off track, because wherever you are, whatever's happening, whatever you're growing into is killing it. It being ego. Think about that. Think about that. The only reason something, like when we're dealing with a child or something, and the ego's a lot like a child. When we're dealing with a child that's throwing a tantrum, they'll do things to get your attention to make sure they are not forgotten. Not because they're saying, oh, hey, I love you, I'm here. They do that too. But when they feel the, think about like if you have kids, if you don't have kids, when you have kids, the minute you get on the phone, they want everything from you. The minute you get on the phone, they are every question in the book that needs to be answered right now. Everything that that could have been handled 15 minutes ago is all of a sudden pressing now. And everything that can be handled an hour from now has to be done right now. Why? Because they want your attention. So the ego is always striving to make sure it has your attention, so it does not get lost. It does not die. And it, most importantly, does not lose power, right? So it's hugely important to understand this person that I was thinking about could indeed be running around with 10,000 women. This person that I'm thinking about could not be thinking about me. This person could have absolutely no interest in me whatsoever. But that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is how I'm listening to what's going on in my head and how I'm responding and the experiences I'm having. Because the reality is we are going to be given these belief systems like, oh, this is the one, this is the one, this is the one. Like, they treat me so good. Like, there's this. And that's the voice of the distraction will throw things out there like, but you're connected this way and you're connected this way and it feels so good. But you feel so bad because they're nowhere around. And that's a good indication that it's like, hey, maybe this is, I need to, number one, if I'm thinking about somebody and them thinking about them makes me not feel great because they're not present, then it really means I need to put my attention on something else other than that person or that thing. Because the same thing goes along with a job. I've done the same thing with a boss. I've done the same thing with friends. Somebody doesn't call, something happens, an experience comes up and it's like, oh, it's falling apart, or oh, they don't like me, or oh, I'm gonna get in trouble because of this, that, and the third. Or this parent is upset, and I play something in my head that creates fear, lack, shame, guilt, or a deep gnawing feeling that pulls me down. I am creating that. So I've done that for years, thinking like, oh, all this stuff is happening to me. When the reality is, as I'm creating the majority of the stuff that was happening by the energy I'm cultivating within myself, and then drawing in the way that I'm responding, because I walk into the room like, and they immediately are like, what's wrong? They think something's wrong. So now they're reacting. Now I'm reacting to how they're reacting, and vice versa. So it's super, super, super duper important to remember that we're energy and we're creating this. And the thought process to stop. Is that ego or is that the divine? Is it painful? Is it pleasurable? Is it lack-based? Is it limitless-based? Is it making me feel, or is it making me feel, These things matter. We need to be paying attention. And so that leads me to the whole thing about Mr. Right or Mrs. Right or best place to be. Again, we create that. I've spent a lifetime thus far, prior to now, being in relationships with individuals, whether it is an intimate relationship or it is a not intimate relationship, expecting them to bring something to me to qualify me as being me. And they can't. There is no man out there, and I'm sorry, gentlemen, there is no man out there that can make me a better me in terms of validate who I am, to come and be like, because I'm with you, you matter. And I'm pouring that into you. That doesn't exist. That does not exist in another person, because until I believe it within myself and know it within myself and understand it within myself, there is the problem, me, not recognizing who I am. And so no matter who comes into the picture, they're not going to fit. They're not going to flow. It's not going to, even if they are the best person ever, I will deteriorate the relationship. I will sabotage things because of the fact that I'm not who I need to be. I'm not doing what I need to do to stand in my power. So I hope this makes sense, because this morning was one of the first mornings where immediately, as the thought was being processed, I'm getting really good at doing it after it's come out, but immediately as the thought was being processed and was being generated, I knew it wasn't spirit. And I was just like, okay, you're creeping in first thing in the morning. I must have a powerful day plan, and there must be something I need to be focused on instead, because you're trying to take me down this path that is unhealthy. And so I told ego, thank you, because I know the intention is good. The intention for itself is to stay alive. And so I said, thank you. I appreciate you coming and visiting me with this lie, but I refuse it today, and I choose love. And so all of you out there, know that you can choose love in all situations, in all scenarios. So have a good one. Today's my son's birthday. I'm going to go celebrate my baby becoming a 17-year-old. Oh my gosh, how'd that happen? Super excited about that, but y'all have a great day. And just remember, practice love, choose love. Make sure you're listening to the fuel and the fire that is supposed to empower you. Have a good one.